I'm really busy. Man, asking me for something else? Can't you find someone else? Don't you know how busy I am? Who could make that kind of commitment? Sometimes when we hear the word serving in church, those kind of defenses come to mind. And sadly, I think it's short-sighted because we've missed the very intention or the opportunity that we want to bring as a church for this idea of serving. You see, it's not about volunteering. It's not as if we say, well, we're an organization that needs volunteers. It's about the very design of God. Paul, when he writes to the early church, particularly in Ephesus, he says that as each one does his or her part in serving, that the body grows, it's built up. It's the idea that when we serve, something happens in us and in us collectively. That God has actually made us to serve. In fact, Jesus says he came to serve, not to be served. And so when we understand what serving really is, it engages us in the heart and mind of Christ, not as another activity that's demanding something from us. I want you to hear some stories today of others, some who've served in our church and how it's impacted their life and what it means to them to engage this way in the very heart and mind of Christ for the life of the church.
My wife and I wanted to start serving in church, but we didn't know where to start. And we figured it'd be a good place to start serving within the youth. And the one thing that we found in serving, we grow, but then also with taking the youth, for example, a lot of times you think you're going to help them, but at the same time, you end up finding that they're helping you more than you help them. We did that for about 3 or 4 years. We left the area for a while, and then so that was kind of the end of that time. But during that time, it was such a great opportunity to, one, get connected to the church. You got to meet other leaders in that were helping out with youth group. You got to know some of the kids in the church as well. And then not only that, you were able to see God in a different light because they tend to connect differently from adults. And so that was one thing that was really great for us. We would end up going home and talking about the experiences that we had within our groups with the kids, or just talking about the kids, the things that they did to make us laugh, or that touched us in different ways that we thought maybe we were helping them, but again, it's just more of them helping us. So that was one way that we got connected.
All right, so one of the ways we serve at All Shores is we are section leaders, and we are section leaders in Section 4. And so everybody in Section 4 start cheering. We have a great section, and what is really cool about being a section leader is you get to know people in your section. And All Shores is a big church. It's easy for people to sneak in and out and not be noticed. And we make a point of saying hello or good morning to everyone in our section each Sunday. And we don't know always if they're visiting or if they've been a long-term member, but this gives us an opportunity to have that conversation and try to find those that are new in visiting, and then we have an opportunity to tell them about the church. So it's a great experience.
We've served with our growth group. We've had the opportunity to serve with the pancake breakfast, and every Christmas we go shopping for our. We have a family that we host or shop for. So there are so many opportunities at All Shores to find the area that you are comfortable with, that will bring out, make you feel like you're really doing something for others and helping out in the community. And there's so many ways to find those things, and All Shores does a fantastic job of providing those opportunities for you to serve.
And we have, not just section leader opportunities, but there are mission trips and community involvement. The serving in the prison ministries, and there's such a wide range of different opportunities that you'll find something that fits your personality and and give you a passion to help others in that area.
So the one thing about serving that really impacted me was just to see how I grew and to be able to see and identify the gifts that I have. And so when I was serving the youth group, that was one place where I started to realize that obviously I have a jovial personality, and but being able to make people feel welcomed was kind of one of the first things I kind of noticed. There were kids there that, high school can be hard on some kids and high school can be easy on a lot of other kids. And I think that's one thing within the youth group was that making those kids feel welcomed and breaking down barriers and making them feel welcomed. And I think that's one thing that serving can do. It can really bring out your gifts, and it can help you identify your gifts spiritually and naturally that you have. And I think that for me, it helped me identify those spiritually and naturally, and I think actually naturally it helped me grow a little bit in certain areas where I may have felt uncomfortable before, but realizing that, hey, this is actually something that I can do. And so not only does it help you in the church, but it can help you outside of the church when you serve.
We ended up they asked if we would be greeters at the 11 o'clock service by the doors. And we did that, and we loved it. And that was probably once a month or twice a month. Then one day, EJ asked us if we'd have coffee with him. So we went to coffee, and he asked if we would consider being section leaders, and he then explained what all of that was about. And I just said, whoa, EJ, I really do have to pray about that, because I just love the greeting. But we did decide to do it, and it has been a marvelous experience for me, because all of those people that I only knew before by face, I now can say, good morning, Aaron, good morning, Paul, good morning, Meg, hi, Jeff, how are you? And it just helps bring those people to feel more realistic and more a part of my life. A lot of it has focused on being greeters, and I guess maybe that's what God's calling us to do.
For those who are on the fence about serving and thinking they should, and just being reticent as to where and how to begin, I think if you just remember that the Christ that we're following is the living example of love. The one word love describes God, the Father, and Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. So let the love flow. I guess the Bellamy brothers said it, but that's exactly what serving is. Just let the love come out through you. You will get so much, much back.
I enjoy serving because it helps me to be more in touch with the people that are a big part of my life and my spiritual life. And I find great comfort and joy in being around those people. Being in the hospitality area and greeting people and everything has just helped me focus more on other people and their needs, and to see if there's any way that I can help them through a difficult time. It's just been a totally rewarding experience, and I wasn't real sure about this section leader thing, but I love it.
We were only initially involved with serving when it came to the summertime. We were asked to help in the children's ministry, to give the regular ministry workers a break, and we enjoyed doing that, but it didn't really feel like that was our niche. And it was probably about a year and a half ago or so that we started checking into other areas that we could become involved, whether it was in trying to find a growth group or just finding ways that we could serve. So I became involved with a personnel committee within the church, and we were asked at the same time if we were interested in serving with the hospitality team and ushering. So that has been a really fun experience and exactly the right fit for us.
Well, in serving at the church, I was first approached and asked if I could be a greeter. And I felt like that was something at first I wasn't very comfortable doing. I'm kind of a shy person. But as I got to do it, it made me feel more comfortable in talking with people and making them feel welcome, and it made me feel a little bit better and more confident. So that's helped a lot. And then we've graduated from greeting to ushering, and also now we're section host leaders, which is a very big compliment to even be asked to do that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that by serving in the church, it's a way to put our commitment to Christ into action, and it's a way of getting to know people in the church. Some people who don't come all the time, and some people that come every single week. It's amazing the amount of more friends I have now that Melania is there, and she knew a lot of people that went to the church that I didn't know. And it's a great way to just connect with people and extend Christ living to other people that are trying to live the same way. I think that in serving in other ways, like besides the ushering and host, being a part of Kids Hope, once a week I can sit down and break down my Christianity with a kid who's trying to learn how to read and do math. In small groups, it's being around people that want to be more Christ-like. This helps me in my Christianity because I'm retouching on it every day with somebody else. I'm not just in my own head with my Christianity. I'm out there talking to people in the small group and my kid in Kids Hope, and I need to do that every day in my life for me to keep growing. And that's the biggest thing I find, is by being a part of volunteering and serving, my life is getting better. And when the focus is on them, and then when the year's all over, I say, wow, I've seen some changes in me, and that was not my goal to start out.
So the one other great thing about serving and going into a growth group is that you create a lot of relationships, and those relationships can be long term. And I've made a lot of good relationships here in the church, pastors, some of the members here, and so that's been really good for me to have other people to connect with. We even were in a big fantasy football league, so that's fun, getting to know people on a different level outside of church and faith, and seeing how you get to interact with them. I actually, for a while there, worked for one of the people in the church, so that was fun, because not only that, there were other people that I didn't know at the time went to the church that worked for him as well, so that was fun getting to know them as friends, and then also seeing them within church, just always, again, seeing a friendly face that you know, and a face that you can relate to. And so there's always something good that can come out of serving and being in a growth group. And for me, it's just being able to have those relationships, even outside of the serving and your growth group, that really make it fun. And when you come together the next week, you have more things to talk about and the things that you do. So,
yeah, I think Melania and I would encourage everyone to serve at least in one thing. There's so many different ways. Kids Hope, or the food truck, in greeting, in ushering, and make it a commitment, because the benefit is going to be in you. And anytime any of us can serve, and we can all sit there and say, I've got too busy of a life. But when you start to put God first as your commitment, then you start to see that in your own personality. You start to see it in the way you're handling people. I think that serving in the future, I'm looking to serve in the prison ministry. I think that's I'm feeling nudges to go that way. I'm feeling it, but that means I'll probably have to give up something else in my life so I can go and do what I'm being nudged to do. And that's right now what I need prayers for is, what do I have to do so I can have that time to do that? Because I think that would be so fulfilling for me, to be there for the men that are in that situation, that they probably didn't have the support when they were younger, and to help encourage them as they move forward.
I would encourage somebody to serve for two reasons. One, it's a great way to help those in need. And I know that people are so busy that it's hard to commit. However, I believe that you will get more out of it than the people that you're helping. And the gratitude that you will receive is worth every minute of your time. The second reason I would encourage people to serve is because it engages you in the church. And again, you will meet new people. You will participate in these things with others. And, we are all doing this together, and we're doing it not as a solo act. And so there's encouragement, and there are opportunities for development within yourself and with other people. So I think there's really two good reasons to tackle a serve project.
As we finish our time together today, and you have time to reflect on this idea of serving this week, I want to give you a final thought, a picture, hopefully that's helpful to you. You see, the beauty is that God has made you uniquely. We know that He gives spiritual gifts to each believer, and even those, while there are categories, are unique to each person. We know not only does He give us gifts, but our own experiences in life shape us uniquely, that we have our passions and talents and abilities. All of these things work together to basically say that God has given you and I each unique personal experience in life and wirings that will meet the needs of the world in a unique way. They will be met inside the church and outside of the church through people who say, I am going to serve with all my heart, mind, soul, and strength, whatever God has me to do. And what it really means is that through serving, we actually discover how we engage in being part of history and part of bringing God's story to the world and bringing His transforming power all around us. It means we serve to be on mission. And that is profound and powerful for us to pray and ask God how He shows us that and to begin to walk in it. And it is a process. Not one moment I suddenly walk in it, but with each day, each week, each month, each year, it gets refined and developed. And that's the encouragement I want to leave you with today, is that you would pray, seek, step in, and grow in how you serve.